Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, what's going on? My name is Kyle, and I'm here because I wanted to speak about an issue that bothers me quite drastically, and something that I think we can learn from by viewing some scholars of Islam and how they have um, gone through in their lives by evolving on this issue. And that issue is um, calling Shias non-believers, Takfiris, being Takfiris, calling Sufis non-Muslims, calling Shias non-Muslims, calling Shias derogatory terms like Ratifidis, etc. This is quite common, and unfortunately within us traditional Muslims slash Salafis, not to be confused with Madkhali, that's a different story, but unfortunately many of us Salafis are on the hard lines of, hey, we've got, Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he wrote once that being a Shia was worse than being a disbeliever or a pagan, because you're fabricating Islam and you're calling something Islam in a different name that's not Islam. He said it was worse. And he went around killing and condemning and talking trash about every Shia he possibly could. But toward his end years, and I don't know the full history about it, I just know the story, and I read it several times. Toward his end years, he stopped doing that. And I don't know if it's because we're supposed to make 70 excuses for someone. I don't know if it's just because we're not supposed to judge or speculate. But he said, essentially, he had stopped persecuting Shias and religious minorities, and he essentially said, if they make wudu like I do, then I am not going to question their faith. If they have Shia tendencies, that's something that they can discuss with their family. They don't have to tell me they're Shia. And I'm not going to intermingle and intertwine and try and find out what their aqidah and their fiqh and their beliefs with regards to Sunni and Shia are. I'm going to get rid of that. So he hated Shia. And who knows what he believed about Shia and their fate in the afterlife toward his end of life. But what we do know is that he evolved his views to say that he doesn't kill Shias anymore and doesn't persecute them because they make wudu like he does. And they say the Shahada. Then, recent new scholar, contemporary scholar, one that's still alive today, Yasir Qadhi, rahimahullah, in my opinion, the forefront of contemporary Salafi, modern Islam in the United States. He used to, just a few years ago, scold the Shias and the Sufis. He would say Ratifi like nothing. He would say don't intermingle with the Shia, etc. And the last statement I heard from him was, he said, look, there will be no unity conference between us. Sunnis and Shias will not unite as one under one banner because we do have differences of opinion on some major issues. But nevertheless, it's not my job to sit there and call them non-Muslims because I don't know what is in an individual's heart. And also, I think he mentioned a story about this deviant Islamic sect. It wasn't the Kharaj. It may have been the Kharaj, I don't know, but he mentioned a deviant sect that existed during the time of the Salaf, and they were allowed to preach and practice how they interpreted Islam, which was way different than what Islam actually was. They were interpreting an incorrect version of Islam, but they were not killed for it or even persecuted for it. It may have been the Kharijites, I don't know, but the Kharijites I thought were attacked by Ali. And then they asked Ali why would he attack people who pray so late at night and cry. So I don't know. It may or may have not been the Kharijites, may or may have not been circumstantial. But point being, two great scholars. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah will always be known as a great classical scholar. Yasir Qadhi rahimahullah will always be known as a great American scholar who has just really contributed to the way that we want to see Islam transform and not change. Islam never changes. We don't change our religion, but we can change certain aspects of our daily lives to embrace cultural modernity with that of classical traditional Islam. And in my opinion, the more traditional Islam you go, the more modern you actually get, because Islam values sciences so much. But, point being, two great scholars quit wishing takfir upon every single Shia or every single Sufi, and they judge them at point value. Do they have do they say the Shahada on their tongues? Do they say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan ibn abduhu wa rasuluh? Do they say that? If they do, who am I to question what they are? Alhamdulillah, hello brother. Assalamu alaikum, how are you? 90% of the time, you won't even notice the difference between who's a Sunni and who's a Shia. So, quit with all the takfir, please. And the reason why is because Islam is a religion that is very diverse and has always been diverse. But we kind of closed the doors to that. A lot of us Salafis have been closing the doors to diverse opinions and viewpoints, to the point to where we've even, some of my fellow Salafi friends have even denied the authenticity of certain works by like Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, to both of them, because their works were seen as, their views were seen as non-Islamic. They didn't seem compatible with Islamic views. An example, what's a good example? The notion of hellfire being eternal. Ibn al-Qayyim and Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, to both of them, they did not believe that hell was eternal. In fact, Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, and we know this was his belief when he died because he wrote this in prison, and that's when he was on his deathbed. He said that it would be contradictory to God's divine mercy if we thought that everyone would not eventually obtain Jannah. And he wasn't just speaking about Muslims, he's speaking about everyone. Christian, pagan, you name it. They will all eventually come to Jannah. This is a minority Islamic viewpoint. But nevertheless, it is propagated by Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn al-Qayyim. And what I want to know is, where did they get this view from? Because Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he does quote some of the Sunnah and Quranic verses. I think his biggest daleel is that the Quran mentions hellfire, and then it mentions, paradise, Jannah, and then it says that will not end, and then it mentions hellfire, but it doesn't say that will not end at the end of the verse. That's one of his daleels. Another one was some of the Sahaba, but I've got to see where they said that, when, how authentic it is, etc. But you know, point being though is that some of the most orthodox scholars held some heterodox views, but maybe they're correct. So I've seen that us Salafis in particular, because most Sufis have signed and agreed to this creed that was signed by like over 500 Sunni Islamic scholars, saying that true Islam was Shias, Asharis, Maturidis, and then there was like 7 madhabs mentioned or something. And they mentioned that those were all from the saved sect. So yeah, so a lot of the Sufis don't have this problem. A lot of us Salafis, we do have a problem with judging and being very quick to say, oh, we can't believe this is heterodox. Well, let's open our minds and see what some of our own very orthodox scholars said. And then let's use that daleel and let's see for ourselves. I'm not saying change your views and say hellfire is no longer eternal. Don't say that if you've been taught and you have evidence to prove otherwise. But don't say that Ibn Taymiyyah or Ibn al-Qayyim did not claim that, because they did, and we've got clear proof. And every single document that has tried to say that this was not written by Ibn Taymiyyah or Ibn al-Qayyim has been debunked. And I can show you in depth, in Arabic and English, almost line to line, a refutation of it. I can't say which opinion I hold, because I think both of them are equally strong at the moment. I really can't. This hellfire not being eternal, Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn al-Qayyim especially really go into it and really articulate it and kind of make hellfire being eternal seem unrealistic and unrational. I don't know. But then I hear that it is. You know, I'm going to keep my mouth silent. But I respect that there is a minority view. A lot of my fellow Salafis would not. Just accept it. If you see a Shia brother or sister, if they have recited the Shahada off their tongues, if they are saying if they are making wudu like you, don't question, you know, the 12 infallible imams, which of course I don't believe in. Don't question their Islam because they don't believe in the validity of Abu Bakr being the first caliph, Umar, and Uthman. They don't believe in that. They believe that they were all non-Muslim, or at least not worthy of following. And only until Ali became a caliph did they believe that this was a righteous caliph they could follow. And of course, we Sunnis, it is heretical to tell a Sunni, like let's say a Sunni masjid, that Umar, rahimahullah, or Abu Bakr, or Uthman, that they were non-Muslim, or that their caliphates did not count. Their caliphates were inadequate. They were not correct. They were practiced incorrectly, etc. You tell Sunni that, they will say, "Are you kidding me?" Like, you don't believe that Umar was a righteous caliph? You don't believe that Uthman was? You don't believe that Abu Bakr was? And only that Ali was? And there's some kind of conspiracy against him? And you don't believe in most of our Sahaba? What? What? Wait. And you don't believe in our biggest, or our second biggest hadith narrator? Okay, whoa. Yeah, that'll strike someone back real quick, and they'll say, that's not Islamic at all. But nevertheless, and we know that this is what mainstream Shia Islam teaches, so we could say that masjid is un-Islamic. But we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. And also, it would be wrong for us as lay people who have not studied why Shias are considered un-Islamic by some, or to the contrary, why Shias are considered Muslim by some. We haven't studied the evidences for and against. We know that by basic daleel, we would be inclined to say that Shias are not Muslim, based on the fact that they believe in views that we think are heretical. But nevertheless, they may have strong daleel behind their viewpoints. And there are many Sunni scholars who have said Shias are our brothers and sisters. They are completely Muslim. There are 5, they oftentimes include the Zaidi madhab as well. So say there are 6 or 7 madhabs that are legitimate. They recognize all the schools of thought. And so, in that aspect, you've got so many Sunni scholars saying they are, and you've got so many Sunni scholars saying they aren't. Well, we don't have the daleel for either, so let's not make that decision. Let's let the scholars fish it out. Alright, well, just a thought. Let's quit condemning and start participating in active dialogue. Alright, wassalam. Peace, everyone. Have a good day.